In this video, I'll show you how to use a simple spreadsheet to track reliability risks before they become disruptive outages. This spreadsheet, called the Reliability Tracker, works by mapping out your services against their most likely failure modes. Once you've tested a service against a failure mode using a solution like Gremlin, you can record the outcomes in this spreadsheet. These results then factor into a score that tells you how reliable each of your services are. The first thing we need to do after starting a new spreadsheet is to list out our services in column A. A service is any discrete unit of functionality in an application, such as an authentication service or checkout service. We'll also list each service's tier, which is how critical the service is to our operations. We use a tier scale of 1 to 3, with tier 1 services being mission critical, and tier 3 services being the least critical. Next, we'll list out each of the different failure modes you want to test for in row 1. You can see I already have a few entered here. We'll stick with some of the more common ones like CPU and memory scalability, or how does the service handle high CPU or RAM consumption, host and zone redundancy, or does the service keep operating if a host or entire availability zone fails, and lastly, what happens if I lose connection to my dependencies such as Amazon S3, CloudFront, DynamoDB, or SNS. Now that we have our spreadsheet set up, we need to run reliability tests on these services and measure whether they pass or fail. For now, we'll add question marks to each of these to indicate that they haven't been tested yet. As we go through and test each service, we'll update these results to indicate whether the test passed or failed. Now, if a particular test doesn't apply to a service, we can also enter NA, and that'll gray out the box, indicating that we don't need a test for that. To run our test, we can use a platform like Gremlin, which auto-generates reliability tests for each new service we define in it. This tracker spreadsheet isn't exclusive to Gremlin, of course. You can use a different tool or even an entirely different method of injecting fault and testing reliability. The important thing is that you have a way of clearly defining a test and measuring whether it passed or failed. In Gremlin, we can just define our services. When we go in, we have a suite of pre-built tests that we can just run in a single click. And this gives us the reliability score, which is equal to the reliability score or coverage score that you would see here. Now, once we've ran our test and recorded our results, we'll get our baseline. This tells us how reliable our service is at this moment in time. We should go through, determine where to make improvements, actually make those improvements, and then repeat our suite of tests to ensure our improvements actually made a difference and are making our services more reliable. Ideally, we should see our score increase. Now we can repeat this process by simply duplicating this page, repeating our tests, and recording the new results, and hopefully see a trend in a positive direction. Now, we recommend renaming each page with the current date, so you can more easily keep track of each test execution, but that's up to you and what works best for your team. And that's it. To get your free copy of the Reliability Tracker, and to read our tutorial and white paper on tracking reliability risks, head over to gremlin.com/reliability-tracker-template.